Hello friends, welcome. Friends, today morning I saw that the 5G BTS numbers was already published on 31st May 2025 by DOT, which is 4,81,758. So let me just zoom and show you that this is the latest 5G BTS data. Now, I aggregated other BTS's data which DOT keeps publishing, because if you look at the telecom tower dashboard, you will see that in the telecom tower dashboard, if I have to click here, so there is a daily cumulative value of towers installed as well as the BTS installed. So you have got around 30 lakh BTSs, and how many 5G BTSs you have? Around 4 lakh something, right? So I aggregated all these number in this dashboard of mine, which I have uploaded in my website, tracking 5G BTS's tower deployment trends. And you can see that the total BTS's counts is 30.25, out of which 5G BTS's is 4.82, and then the rest of the BTS is 25.43. So 5G BTS's, if you divide by the total number, so 4.82 divided by 30.25, it is around 16%. So you can see that is around 16%. Okay. Now, there is one more thing, and then I will tell you that why I'm doing this video. I saw another article in the newspaper which spoke about Bharti Airtel leads 5G. Reliance Jio tops overall speed in June, Opensignal, right? So when I was looking at this article, I got curious. So I went to the website of Opensignal. So here is the website of Opensignal. So Opensignal has done a report for Mobile Network Experience Report of June 2025. And the data collection was from the period of February 1st, 2025 to May 1st, 2025. And then the key findings have been published here. And then there is a summary report. Graphically, they have represented and compared the four operators under the various dimensions of consumer experience, right? So network performance and the consumer experience all have been laid out, and you can clearly see Airtel is a winner. And this triggered my brain to, to kind of visualize that what is going on. And let me tell you, friends, why I am saying this. Now, if you look at this BTS data of 5G, it does not give an operator price breakup. Now, this 4.82 lakhs BTSs of 5G, till May 31st May 2025, I am quite sure that majority of this BTSs is Reliance Jio. It will be 80%. 20% is going to be from Bharti. That is what my understanding is, and viewers can correct me if I'm wrong. So 4.82 multiplied by 80, right? So 4.82 multiplied by 0.8, 3.856 lakhs Reliance Jio. And Bharti will be how much? Roughly around 20%. It may vary a little bit, so roughly around 1 lakh. Let's assume that, right? So 1 lakh Bharti, and how much Jio? Jio is almost like 3 lakh, 80,000. Now, friends, with Jio 3 lakh 80,000 5G BTSs, with spectrum in 700 megahertz band, which is considered to be the best spectrum band for 5G because it kind of enters indoor. It will able to drive user experience. That is the reason why people go for low frequency band. High frequency band cannot penetrate, and for a mobile experience it does not matter, right, whether you are getting 100 mbps speed or whether you are getting 20 mbps speed, because your YouTube download and video calling and video usage experience depends upon whether the network is congested or not and how the network has been optimized. That is how it depends upon, right? And whether the network is in 4G or whether it is 5G does not matter, because both will give you similar experience, because that high speed of 100 Mbps or 200 Mbps that you get only matters if you are using an FWA broadband connection with a larger form factor. Now, friends, the reason I'm doing this video is that I am really intrigued by this outcome, where Airtel is leading in all the major dimension, overall experience, 5G experience, see, winner, 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 and coverage and consistency, Jio is the winner. But as I told you, it does not matter whether you are in 4G or 5G. So whether you have got coverage and consistently, if you don't have the overall experience which Airtel is able to deliver, what is the point? That is my question to the viewers. And that is why, friends, I am doing this video, because it has been proven beyond doubt that India has deployed a half hearted 5G. And why I'm saying 5G, I'm not saying 5G has been completely useless. The technology has been completely useless. That is not what my point is. I am saying that the way India has deployed 5G, it is half hearted. And that is why, even if the international operators are someday able to unlock the full value of 5G, the Indian operators won't be able to. That is the main point of this video. So that is point number one. The second point is that we will continue to experience poor quality network experience, because if you look at our overall BTSs 5G, it is just a fraction of 16% of the total BTSs. So if you have got so much amount of BTSs which are on 4G and 2G and 3G, maybe 2G and 3G are just a fringe. Majority will be 4G, and 5G is just 16% of the overall BTSs. And then we are talking about that India has deployed 5G fastest in the world, and that 5G has not created any kind of differentiation on the mobile. And the operator who has a thin 5G network did not even deploy the full-fledged 5G, which is called 5G standalone network, and is able to unlock that value and winner in every dimension of user experience, with the highest quantum of postpaid subscriber, with the highest ARPU and the highest revenue, and the stock prices the highest in the industry. Then, friends, what is the point of deployment of 5G? That is my question. Why at all we have deployed 5G? To do what? Because 5G has not unlocked any value. If an operator with just 20% BTSs, overall BTSs, with a thin and suboptimal 5G network is able to drive value not only from an overall experience, but also from the point of view of revenue, tariff hike. The most of the tariff 5 advantage the Airtel has been able to realize with because even though it does not have a full-fledged 5G network. So it clearly proves there is something severely wrong, either with the technology or with the way that the whole thing has been structured. And friends, and let me tell you that where the fault is. The fault may be slightly with the technology. Maybe this technology is too mature for the current system to absorb. Maybe it is ahead of the time. Maybe that is the situation, but actually it isn't. Let me give you my thoughts, and you will understand that why the world has not been able to unlock the full value of 5G. So friends, what I have done is I have put together a slide deck, and in that slide deck, we will discuss the problems that we are facing with 5G and what kind of situation that we got in, that an operator who has not deployed 5G to an extent that the other operators have deployed, and spend the other operator, Reliance Jio, has got almost like 4 times the number of base station which this operator has, which has the maximum value and the maximum premium customer. Then what is the reason why it is like this? Let's unlock and let's analyze and let's discuss that where things have gone wrong, where we are right now, and what is going to be the future. Not for 5G, 5.5G, and maybe 6G. Whether we will be able to unlock that potential of those new technologies which India is striving to achieve. And our honorable minister says that we are going to have 10% patent in 6G, whether India is going to leverage those technology or not, and what will stop us from leveraging, right? So let's investigate that. So Opensignal shows that Airtel is leading on 5G, and we have already seen from this diagram, this view graph, which says that in all major dimensions, overall experience, 5G experience, except in coverage and consistency, how does it matter? Because even if you have 4G coverage or 5G coverage, if you don't have overall user experience, right, for which the user is paying money, because you need user experience, coverage, whether 5G is there or 4G, that doesn't matter, right? So how Airtel is able to unlock so much amount of value, and why Jio, after spending so much amount of money in spectrum, has lost out in as regards Airtel is concerned. Okay, so let's look at this and let's investigate this. Okay. So the reality check on spectrum spending, we have to do reality check because a lot of money has been spent on spectrum because our spectrum is priced in gold as platinum, because somehow we have got a thinking that spectrum is a scarce resource and therefore the operator should sell shell money for spectrum as if that they are buying gold and platinum, which is completely a misnomer. In India, lots of spectrum has been lying waste from the beginning when the auction process started. Earlier, the PSUs and the defense was holding lot of spectrum, which got reformed. And then what happened was lot of spectrum got blocked because of those operators who got bankrupt because of our auction system. We drove them out of the market and now they are blocking lot of spectrum. And with Vodafone Idea, if we drive Vodafone Idea out of the market, we will lock a lot of spectrum, and lot of spectrum is lying idle. I have shown you in multiple presentation when I showed you my website. I have shown you the diagram of how the spectrum has been structured, especially the low frequency band. 600 megahertz completely vacant, 700 megahertz, only 10 megahertz used by Reliance Jio and 10 megahertz for BSNL. Rest has been given to railways and defense. Out of the 45 megahertz, 800 megahertz, 50% is used, 50% is lying vacant. 900 megahertz is also the similar state of affair. Lot of spectrum is lying vacant, and Vodafone Idea is holding lot of spectrum. And if they go bankrupt, then 900 megahertz spectrum situation will go as if that what has happened in case of Reliance Arcom and Aircel holding lot of spectrum in 2100 megahertz band, and Arcom is holding in 800 megahertz band, right? So this is all because of our broken auction model. And the second reason is the AGR judgment, which I have been saying from the very beginning, because our auction model is completely broken. And that is the reason, friends, we have not been able to leverage the full potential of 5G. You will be surprised to know that because of this auction model, because of so much spectrum lying idle in the low frequency band, we can't monetize 5G, and we will never be able to monetize 5G, be it 5G or 6G. Okay. So Jio high spend, low returns. Spent 88,000 crores in the 2022 auction. By the way, friends, let me tell you, when this auction was going on, I was closely watching Airtel, and I read the Airtel's annual report, which was just published before this 2022 auction, which happened after the annual report got published. Now, if you look at the Airtel's annual report, they were going gaga about 700 megahertz band. They were mention of 700 megahertz band at least 10 times in their annual report. So that how good 700 megahertz band is, how Airtel is locked on to getting 700 megahertz band. But as soon as the AGR judgment came, and then what happened was the amount of money that they have to shell out, right, for the in the AGR judgment, which they could not get themselves out because their curative petition got dismissed and everything got given. Airtel actually lost the interest to get low frequency band because they had to shell out 40,000 crores of rupees, which otherwise they could have spent in getting 700 megahertz band. So they lost all interest, and they said that nothing doing, we are not interested in low frequency band. We will somehow manage 5G by mid-band spectrum, 1800 megahertz band and 3.5 gigahertz band, right? So only Jio bought the 700 megahertz band aggressively, but the problem is it was a half-hearted attempt. Why it was a half-hearted attempt? Because 700 megahertz, 10 megahertz is neither here nor there, which I have been saying from the beginning when I was in my earlier company, right? Though I was not being so vocal because I had my constraint, because I was part of a vested interest, but I had said, if you look at my articles, I've been saying this, 700 megahertz band, 10 megahertz is not sufficient. It is neither here nor there. And that is why Jio's experience of 5G at the 700 megahertz band is not that good. And they are not able to unlock the full potential of 5G, of network slicing, UE level slicing, handset level slicing, because they have to block capacity. Unless they block capacity of the 10 megahertz that they have in 700 megahertz band to at least 50%, then their 5G capacity for those common users who are not interested in their UE level sliced application, we will get choked. And that is what the problem is, that our 5G has been half-hearted. Though we bid, Jio took 700 megahertz band with 40,000 crores, If the mass spectrum prices were managed to a reasonable level and it was opened up for both Jio and Bharti, would have taken 20 megahertz each. Today, the experience of 5G would have been much better. The 4G problems that we have, those problems as far as low quality voice, poor quality voice, those things which you are still facing in 4G, because circuit switch calls, if you try to make on 4G, you can't sustain it even for a minute. You need to make a WhatsApp call. Those problems would have been over, because what is the point in having 5G when you can't even make a voice call, right? Try make a voice call and you tell me what is your experiences. Circuit switch voice call, not WhatsApp call, right? You will find that the experience is miserable, right? And that is why I'm saying that the low frequency band, which could have enhanced the quality of these kind of services, were not being enabled in a manner that both operators, Reliance Jio and Bharti, could have taken 20 megahertz at least in the 700 megahertz band or in the 600 megahertz band. That would have unlocked value for 5G, because then those applications, the low latency application, the sliced applications that we are talking about, where we are prioritize certain users to get some premium quality service, those could have been unlocked. Today we can't unlock them because we have got such a small quantum of spectrum, and Bharti doesn't even have a SA network in order for those services to unlock those services, to drive those services. So it is a half-hearted effort, and that is why Bharti is successful by making smallest amount of investment in 5G, still able to unlock that much amount of value. Because if you have to run, right, a 100 meters race, you can't be saying that, I will run in a half-hearted manner. You have to make your full effort to unlock the full potential, right? If you don't unlock full potential, you will be neither here nor there. That is exactly what is happening in case of Reliance Jio. So 700 megahertz is giving, very good coverage, but the coverage doesn't have any advantage, because whether it is 800 megahertz 4G or whether it's 700 megahertz 5G doesn't matter, because the quantum spectrum is very, very low. And therefore 5G will not be able to give you that much of the efficiency, because 4G and 5G efficiency in 10 megahertz is similar in nature. You will not be able to get better experience. That is why that you see this kind of experience. Though the coverage is good, consistency is better, but the user experience is not good as Bharti. The Bharti has a better optimized network. So Airtel is an efficient 5G strategy, spent 50% less than Jio in the 2022 auction, avoided the costly 700 megahertz band. I give it to Bharti, because what is the point? They are not interested in consumer experience. They want to unlock value of the shareholders. They are just giving enough so that the consumer can just survive. Their brand is very good, and therefore they have all the postpaid customers, right? And Reliance Jio doesn't have that much amount of spectrum to give quality, which is, let's say, 2 times that of Bharti. So if you're not giving quality that is 2 times or 3 times that of Bharti, people will not value your network. That's what's happening with Reliance Jio. So their standalone network of Reliance Jio is of no value, right? And Airtel's non-standalone network has unlocked all value, leveraging the existing, and Airtel is leveraging their existing 4G grid to the maximum, so that they have created a network structure such that they are using the 1800 megahertz band 4G to upload and the 5G to download. So they're doing a carrier aggregation of 1800 along with the 3.5 because of the NSA network, which is driving better value for Jio. So despite lacking 5G SA, Airtel leads video experience, upload speed, consistency, which Opensignal has clearly established. 5G fails to create, consumer differentiation. The reason I told you, it's a half-hearted attempt, neither here nor there. Therefore, there is no difference between 4G and 5G, and therefore 5G has failed to create consumer differentiation. Despite high spend, user differentiation you can't create. You need more low frequency spectrum, friend, in order to create. High frequency spectrum for mobile users is useless. You need 5G has to be low frequency. It has to be low frequency. High frequency is useless. It's only for FWA, right? So therefore, with no low frequency strategy, you will never be able to unlock 5G nor 6G. Consumer ARPU is flat across both operators. 5G pricing is same as 4G as far as service pricing concerned, and there is no monetization upside. And those premium subscribers would have paid more for either 4G or 5G. But those low-end users, they don't find any value. So they will not sell any further price increase because their value, what they're getting for 5G and what they're getting for 4G is equal. So why would they spend more money for 5G? So 5G, you are not able to position it as a premium service. Enterprise 5G is still a pilot mode. Those low latency application, this is just talk in the air. You will never be able to give those low latency services because you don't have capacity at the low frequency band because you need indoor penetration. And the high frequency band, 26 gigahertz band, now Jio is thinking of using it for Wi-Fi. So it's such a funny situation, right? So what this means for future auction? It is going to be the darkest chapter now for future auction, friends, for the telecom industry and DOT, because DOT will not be able to sell any spectrum further. Nobody will require any spectrum because why would they need spectrum? Because you don't have the low frequency band available at a reasonable price, and the high frequency band is of no use. FWA, they have got plenty of spectrum. If they are able to, they can think of deploying Wi-Fi, the worst technology, in a licensed spectrum, 26 gigahertz band. Why would they buy any additional spectrum? Tell me, friends. There is no need for any additional spectrum. So VI anyway financially incapable of bidding. Only there are two serious operators. High reserve prices will discourage bidding. Future auction is likely to sell only small and incremental spectrum blocks. There will be complete failure, right? Low frequency bands are likely to go unsold. So structural risk to Indian auction model. As I've been telling from the very beginning, Indian auction model was a broken auction model the day when the auction started, right? It was a broken thing, and it will continue to be like that unless and until the government decides to completely restructure their spectrum pricing model. Auction framework now assume competitive bidding. Now they have only two operators, and the third operator doesn't have the power and the capability to buy spectrum. No price discovery for only two players. If two players are buying, there will be no price discovery. Spectrum could remain idle despite when need. Without any reform, India risks failed auction. And let me tell you with full confidence, there will be no single auction in coming future is going to be successful, because there will be no players to buy spectrum. Because why would they buy spectrum when they can easily do what they can do with the existing spectrum? So spectrum will remain underutilized, and there will be slower rural rollout innovation. So conclusion is, India must reassess spectrum pricing and allocation strategy, reduce reserve price to reflect market reality, shift focus from revenue maximization to digital inclusion and efficient utilization. So that's all, friend, in this video. I hope that you like this video, and thanks for watching till the end, and I'll come back with a new video and a new topic next time. Thank you for listening till the end.